Welcome students. So in today's class we shall be learning about the vitamin D. So it is another fat soluble vitamin. So it is also a fat soluble vitamin and it resembles the sterols in its structure. So it's having the steroidal nucleus. So we all know that the steroidal nucleus is the C-triple-P ring cyclopentano perhydrophenanthrene. So it's containing 4 cyclic rings like this. So you all must be remembering the structure of C-triple-P. So it basically includes this C-triple-P ring having 3 6-membered rings and 1 5-membered ring structure, and it also functions like an hormone. So it also functions like an hormone that we shall be learning in detail how it functions. So first of all, how does the formation occurs? It's basically formed from the ergosterol in plants. So it starts from the ergosterol and it leads to formation of a provitamin form known as ergocalciferol, that is vitamin D2. So let us start how this is formed. Let us draw the structure for ergosterol first. So in every provitamin form it will be including the sterol nucleus or the C-triple-P ring structure. So first of all, draw that. So students, this is the structure for ergosterol in plants. This is mainly found in plants, and in animals it is found in the form of cholecalciferol. So the structure of cholecalciferol we shall be drawing later on. So the ergosterol will be converted into the ergocalciferol. So ergosterol will be converted into ergocalciferol. So just see the changes in the structure. There will be the opening of the B ring here. It will be opened up. So you can see here how the opening up is occurring. So this is the structure for ergocalciferol or vitamin D2, also known as vitamin D2. So these are the precursor or the provitamin forms. So during the course of cholesterol biosynthesis, the 7-dehydrocholesterol is also formed as an intermediate, and on exposure to the sunlight, this is converted to cholecalciferol. So on the other side, this was the case in the plants, and on the other hand, how does this conversion takes place in the animals? So it will be occurring from the intermediate that is formed during the cholesterol biosynthesis in animals, that is 7-dehydrocholesterol. So students, remember that this reaction always occurs in presence of sunlight. Similarly, now let us draw from the structure of 7-dehydrocholesterol. So first of all, draw the structure of 7-dehydrocholesterol. So remember, these are the sterol moiety, so it will be containing the C-triple-P ring. So that is mandatory in these. So now you can see the structure of 7-dehydrocholesterol here. So this is the case in the animals, and here you can easily see how this differs from the ergosterol in plants. So you can see a double bond and an extra methyl group is not present in these. So now again there will be the opening of the B ringed structure in presence of sunlight, and this will be leading to the formation of vitamin D3 known as cholecalciferol. So now a cholecalciferol molecule will be formed. So you can clearly see here how these are leading to formation. So there is again opening of the B ring, and this is leading to the formation of cholecalciferol, that is vitamin D3. And further this may lead to formation of 25-hydroxy cholecalciferol known as calcidiol. Now this is simply a calciol, this is also referred to as calciol. Now the formation of calcidiol will be there from the cholecalciferol, and this occurs in the liver by hydroxylase enzyme, in presence of hydroxylase enzyme. So how this is formed? The rest of the structure is similar to that of the cholecalciferol, and only an addition of one alcohol will be there. So an OH group will be added over here, and this is known as calcidiol. Also 25-hydroxy cholecalciferol. Now apart from this, the next is the formation of calcitriol. Now what is this calcitriol? It is basically 1,2,125-dihydroxy cholecalciferol, and it contains 3 hydroxyl groups in this. So now let us draw the structure of it. Now this reaction occurs in the kidney in presence of enzyme hydroxylase, alpha hydroxylase basically. So another OH group will be added, and the rest of the structure remains the same. So the OH group that is being added is on the first position here. Now it contains the 3 OH groups, and this is known as calcitriol or 125-dihydroxy cholecalciferol. So this was the formation of the active form of vitamin D known as calcitriol. So this is the active form of vitamin D, calcitriol. So the biochemical functions include, first will be in the intestine. Now let us draw them in the form of a diagram, so it will be easier for you to remember how these functions. So what is the metabolism and biochemical functions of vitamin D? So we shall be writing here about the metabolism of vitamin D. So it will be basically including the calcitriol and calcidiol. Now let us see how this leads to formation. So students, remember that in our skin there is the presence of 7-dehydrocholesterol, so this is an intermediate that is formed during the cholesterol biosynthesis. So in presence of UV light, it leads to the formation of cholecalciferol. So this leads to formation of cholecalciferol, and this complete reaction occurs in the skin only. So remember that this reaction occurs in presence of UV light. So in the sunlight it leads to formation of a proactive form known as cholecalciferol. This cholecalciferol then travels into the liver. This travels into the liver, and in presence of enzyme 25-hydroxylase, it is converted into 25-hydroxycholecalciferol. So this reaction occurs in the presence of in the liver. Now from the liver, this 25-hydroxycholecalciferol, this travels into the kidney, where it is converted into the active form of vitamin D, that is calcitriol. Now here there is a action of PTH hormone and the phosphates. So how does this occur? So let us transfer it into the kidneys. So this is 25-hydroxy cholecalciferol, so next, in presence of enzyme alpha hydroxylase or 1-hydroxylase, this leads to formation of 1,2,5-dihydroxycholecalciferol, also known as calcitriol, and this calcitriol leads to absorption of calcium and phosphates in the kidney. So this leads to absorption of calcium and phosphates in the kidney. So remember that all of this reaction occurs in the kidney. So students, I am drawing here a rough diagram of representation of kidney, so you can easily remember where these reaction occurs, and moreover there is a activator action of PTH and low phosphates. So they act as an activator for this reaction, and this reaction occurs in kidney. So remember this. Now from this The calcitriol goes into the bloodstream, so where it is either absorbed by the intestine or in the bone marrow and leads to bone formation or the absorption of the calcium. So how this steps occurs, let us see. When this go back into the bloodstream, so this is the calcitriol here. Now this calcitriol is either absorbed by the intestinal cells. So see here, this is calcitriol. So in the intestine, it leads to formation of a calcitriol receptor complex, and it leads to the binding on the messenger RNA, and the process of transcription is initiated. So why this process of transcription is initiated? Because it leads to formation of certain specific proteins that may lead to further translation of the calcium binding proteins. So at this point we can say that the receptor complex of the calcitriol binds, here you can see, with the messenger RNA, and it leads to the translation of or formation of the calcium binding protein. So this calcium binding protein formed inside the intestinal cell leads to the absorption of calcium. So it is leading to the formation of, it leads to the absorption of calcium. So how this occurs? Now let us draw the microvilli here. So this is just a rough representation of, we can say, the intestinal cells. So these are the microvilli. So you all must be familiar with the structure of microvilli. So the calcium outside the intestinal cells is absorbed into the bloodstream through the intestinal cells. So this comes into the plasma. So these are reactions which are occurring in the plasma. So now the calcitriol is also absorbed in the bone marrow. So this leads to formation of bones and calcification of bone structure. So bone formation occurs and leads to the calcification or the turnover. So these are the structure of the bone. We can say this is the leading to the formation of bone, and this extra calcium is also absorbed from the plasma or released out into the plasma. So as per the decalcification process. So this was regarding the metabolism or fate of the vitamin D. So you can clearly see how this is occurring. So in order to summarize that, we can make a summary of the action of calcitriol in elevating the plasma calcium. So how does this occur? So this is just a summary of these. When the plasma calcium levels are lower down, it leads to the secretion of the PTH hormone, or also known as the parathyroid hormone. This parathyroid hormone leads to formation of calcitriol from the calcidiol in presence of alpha hydroxylase enzyme, and this leads to a 3-step metabolism first is the renal absorption of the calcium. So first one is the renal calcium absorption, that is occurring in presence of calcitriol. Next, the intestinal calcium absorption. So from every part of the body the calcium is absorbed in presence of calcitriol, and then leads to the bone calcium mobilization or calcification process. This is the bone calcium mobilization. So this bone calcium mobilization also occurs from the parathyroid hormone, and the renal absorption is also initiated by the parathyroid hormone. So both are important. So the intestinal absorption of the calcium may further lead to the plasma calcium. It may increase the plasma calcium levels, and these are also increased by the renal absorption and the bone calcium mobilization also. So this is the fate of, or we can say the summary of the calcitriol, that is the active form of vitamin D. So vitamin D is a hormone and not just a vitamin, we can say, because it's basically synthesized in skin in presence of the UV lights, and its biologically active form calcitriol is produced in the kidney. So it's basically a hormone rather than a simple vitamin. So the dietary sources from which it can be obtained, so the sources of vitamin D are, it can be provided in the three ways. First one is through the exposure of skin to sunlight. So through the exposure of skin to sunlight, it leads to synthesis of vitamin D. The next one is consumption of natural foods. So the natural foods may include the fatty fish liver oils, or simply we can say the fish oils, then the egg yolk. So they contain the maximum amount of cholecalciferol. So milk is not good source of vitamin D, remember. And the third is by irradiating foods like yeast that contain the precursors of vitamin D, and fortification of foods such as milk and butter. So from yeast also, and fortification of milk and cheese, or milk, butter, anything, any dairy product we can say. So the deficiency may lead to, now the deficiency of vitamin D, this may lead to a problem known as, or a disorder known as rickets. So this may lead to the rickets. You can see the vitamin D deficiency is rated at, it's relatively less common, and since this vitamin can be synthesized in the body. However, insufficient exposure to sunlight and consumption of diet lacking vitamin D may result in its deficiency. So in case of children it is known as rickets, whereas in case of adults it is known as osteomalacia. So this is the case in adults that leads to deficiency of vitamin D. So rickets in children is characterized by bone deformities due to incomplete mineralization, resulting in soft and pliable bones and delay in the teeth formation. Another problem known as renal rickets, this is seen in patients with chronic renal failure, and it is mainly due to the decreased synthesis of calcitriol in the kidneys. So another problem known as renal rickets, it occurs in the patients with a chronic renal failure, and there is a decreased synthesis of calcitriol in this. But in case of osteomalacia, also known as adult rickets, the demineralization of bone occurs and bones become softer, increasing their susceptibility to the fractures. So this is the problem that is occurring due to demineralization. So the bones becomes softer and they are more susceptible to the fractures. So students, this was all regarding the vitamin D. So in this we have covered regarding the general structure, the types, ergosterol, ergocalciferol. So this is in case of, we can say, plants, whereas this is in case of animals. So from animals it is derived from a derivative of cholesterol, that is 7-dehydrocholesterol. So ergocalciferol, vitamin D2, and calcitriol, also known as vitamin D3. So the metabolism of vitamin D, you can see here how cholecalciferol is subjected to formation of calcitriol and how calcitriol helps in the formation of bones and absorption of the calcium. So you can see here, next comes the summary of the metabolism and then the sources and deficiency of vitamin D. So students, this was all regarding the vitamin D.